everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Will You Give Me a Reading? My name is Jenna Matlin, and if you come in live or later, I hope you enjoy this very special broadcast. I have a very special guest with a special book that is about to come out. Ailynn Halvorson, how are you doing today?
I am doing good, and I'm so happy to be with you. Thanks so much for inviting me.
Oh, totally. So you have a book called The Tarot Apothecary coming out. It's coming out in about a month, right? In October?
It's coming out October 8th, so I'm really excited. It's not very far away.
It is right around the corner. And so this book is very unique, isn't it? In that you're combining the role of tarot with like oils, correspondences, and mantra work and that kind of thing. And I know that you have a background. I mean, you've been around for like I mean, I don't want to say forever, but I feel like I've run into you for a really long time at the Northwest Tarot Symposium. You were always at a table with your beautifully like blended teas, corresponding to the different queens.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that you also you're a certified clinical aromatherapist as well, correct?
Yes.
So can you tell me a little bit about like your background and like where did this book come from within you? And yeah, tell us a little more about it.
Yeah, it's it's interesting. I started learning tarot when I was 10 years old. I have a sister that's 13 years older. She went to a garage sale, found a deck, brought it home. She started learning it, and then she started teaching me. So tarot's been in my life for a really, really long time.
Yeah.
Off and on, you know how, when you're in your teens, when you're in your 20s, you put things away and then you bring them back out. And when I was in my 40s, I brought them back out and really delved back into them. And at about the same time, I was starting to work with aromatherapy and hadn't gone to school yet, but I was just, really interested in blending and creating my own blends and working with oils. And I started working with this lady who had a line of oils. And, I was like, well, why would you use this oil? What's it for? Because she had she had 5 elements. And I'm like, what's it for? And why would you use it? And I started questioning things. And then I was getting ready to teach my very first tarot class. And I was terrified. I was convincing myself, don't do it. No one knows. You can cancel right now and it'll be fine. But then there was a part of me who was like, no, if you don't do it now, you're never going to do it. And I went, how can I make this work? And I thought, okay, I got out my tarot deck. I shuffled the cards and I'm like, what's stopping me from moving forward? And I got the 9 of Swords. And I went, it's fear. You're too much in your head. You need to get back in your body and you need to ground because you do have something that you want to discuss. You love tarot. You really want to talk about it. Now's your time. Don't back out. So I went in the kitchen. I go, okay, I think I just need to ground. So I thought, well, what oils would make you ground? And I thought, well, probably earthy, woodsy ones. So I got every earthy oil I could find and I just blended them together. And that became my Queen of Pentacles blend that day. And I was like, okay, so I'm going to wear this oil 3 times a day. And I wrote out a little mantra that you are strong, you are grounded, you have the charisma and power to do what you want. And, just a little mantra. I put the oil on 3 times a day. I said my mantra and I taught the class. And that was the first of many to come. And I was like, oh, this is kind of an interesting thing. I started getting deeper into tarot and I went, wait a minute. The tarot is divided into 4 suits. Each suit relates to a different elemental energy. Oh my gosh. Oils relate to different elemental energies. Tarot cards relate to different elemental energies. And I started creating a line of essential oil sprays, body sprays, relating to the tarot. And from there, it just kept flowing. I went to aromatherapy school for 5 years. Often, I did it online and did it off and on. And I took the boards and passed. And But I didn't want to be a clinical aromatherapist. I was like, I don't want to treat people for illnesses. I want to help people spiritually. I want to
Mhm.
help people step forward on their path and move forward and gain courage and confidence. That's what I want to do. So I just started working with the combination with clients as I was reading for them and saying, oh, well, I think you need some earth blend. Here, let's work with cedar wood and vetiver. Or maybe you need some clarity. Let's work with air oils that will clear the mind. So let's work with peppermint and lavender. And so I started creating that way.
Mm.
And then just before COVID hit, about a month before it went haywire in the world, um, I got really sick, and
Mm.
they thought I had pneumonia, but I didn't. I guess I had bronchitis and put me on this medication that kept me awake. And I was laying in bed one day, just wide awake, and all of a sudden the whole idea for the book just went boom. And I went, oh my God, I'm supposed to do that. That's what I'm supposed to do. And it just all came together, and I wrote it in 9 months, and here it is.
Voila,
Yeah.
voila.
So it was really cool because it was just kind of, I feel like it was just gifted to me, the information.
That's great. Like that's like that it's just gifted. You're just in this place of like receiving, that the muses have come and granted you to be the conduit for which this needs to come into the world.
Yeah. And it
That's
was so cool
powerful.
because it was a few weeks before Newt's, and I went to Newt's, and I ran
Mhm.
into Carrie Paris, and I
Mhm.
was telling her the story, and she's like, this is a download. You've got to own it now, or it's going to go to someone else. And I'm like, nope, this is mine. I'm taking it. No, it's mine. And yeah. So it all kind
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's so true too. It's like if you don't honor that, like like the muses will seed other people because it's like, okay, well,
of,
if you're not going to do it, that other person will. And then
yeah,
when you see someone with your idea out in the world, it's like,
yeah,
oh, I failed.
yeah. I didn't do it. And it's like just getting that courage. I'd never written a book.
Yeah.
I'm terrible with punctuation, spelling. I'm horrible with all that stuff. I thought, you're never going to write a book. I'd never even thought about writing a book really. About 4 years before it started coming to me, but I was like, oh no,
Mm.
you just don't have the skills.
Mhm. Mhm.
But I'm here to say that you can do whatever you want to do. If you really want to do it and you put your mind to it, you can do it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's no small feat, as you know, like mine's coming out a month
Yeah.
after yours. And
I can't wait to get my copy.
thank you. Thank you. Yeah, but it is like I don't, I knew it was a lot of work. I don't know if I appreciated how much how much work it really, really is. Like people don't understand how much work the book is, even when it is like kind of that download piece, because you've got the revisions and got to go through and go
Yeah.
through. And then you're just like, am I done? Oh, wait, should I tweak this more? Should I do this? Should I do this? And you're just like, when do I stop? When is this done?
Right.
It like to be a writer of anything is to have a very tortured process, I
Yeah.
think.
But I've discovered that I truly love it. And that's what I want to do is write now. So
Yay.
I'm happy with it. I'm just excited.
So
Yeah.
so then I have a question for you. So, you're creating these blends that are like enhancing you spiritually to do the work. Was there a blend that you created for yourself as you were writing the book itself?
That's a good question. I did not. But
Mhm.
I actually have it right here, my magician spray, which is about manifesting. Um,
Mm.
and this is my favorite one. It's very deep and dark and earthy and just got all that energy in it. And
Mm.
um, I I love this one, and I've worked with it throughout. But
Mhm.
I did pull. How do I want to put this? I did um, embrace certain tarot cards during the writing.
What did you yeah, which ones?
Yeah. So, well, I was in my lover's year.
Mhm.
I started writing, which to me is the two paths. You have a choice to make. Which direction are you going to go? And,
Mhm.
I had the choice. I actually got laid off because of COVID from my 40-hour.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, which gave me time to write the book.
Yeah.
Um, and, it was like, what am I going to do? Am I going to go back to a regular 9 to 5 job, or am I going to try to make it this way? So I made my choice. So the Lovers was my year card, but
Mm.
I decided to embrace the Fool that year. Even
Mm.
before I knew I was going to write the book, it was kind of like, I'm going to do something different this year. I'm going to jump off the cliff. And the Fool was not a part of my numerology. I just said, I'm picking up this card and putting it on my altar. The Fool's going to be my guide through this year.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be willing to jump off that cliff if something comes my direction that's worth it. And so, yeah, so the Fool was my guide. And so, yeah, jump, go for it.
Take a leap of faith for
Yeah.
sure. I'm so proud of you. I just want to say, there's so many people that have books inside of them, or books have written, or even books completely written, and fear or whatever resistance shows up, and that manuscript sits on the shelf, or it never gets completed. And it's just like, oh, whatever wisdom you had, the world doesn't get to benefit from. So I know, I'm kind of getting into the book writing, but I'm really curious how you did this, because for me, I really had to fight resistance almost every single step of the way, and the resistance would change form. So at some point, my resistance started like, it was like this woman sitting on my shoulder, and I'm like writing, and she's like, well, I've been reading tarot for 50 years and that's not how I've ever done it. And I was like, oh my god, shut up, lady. Please.
Don't
you
worry.
know so did that ever happen for you, or anything
Yeah,
like
well,
that?
there were times where I was like, why are you doing this? You don't write, but you're writing, but is it going to go anywhere? And I have a huge tarot community here in the Portland area, and we meet occasionally, and everybody just really helped. I mean, Jamie Elford is my bud, and she really talked me through it. I reached out to her, and she did some pre-editing for me, and because I told you I can't spell or punctuate, so and just having that community to say, just put it out there and see what happens. And I was kind of like, okay, I'm putting it out there. I'll see what happens. I actually sent it to Llewellyn, the proposal on my birthday.
Oh my gosh, that's wonderful.
On my birthday. Yeah. So, and I just had faith that it would work in some way, some form, somehow.
Well, it's a great book. I mean, I've been tearing through it, and you leave no stone unturned when it comes to, this intersectionality between tarot, but you made it so useful. It's not just about, oh, these are the exact correspondences, and I'm being really like, pedantic, but it's just like, what do I actually need? What kind of boost do I need? And that's what I loved about it, that it's so helpful. And so I want to talk a little bit about that. Like, you have your Tarot Apothecary approach, right? Which is like the energy, the plant allies, the queens, the four queens, the companion cards, and then you include meditation, essential oils, stones, mantras, and teas. So it's like you're putting the energy on you, you're wearing it, you're drinking it, you're imbibing it.
You're using
Um,
all your senses. Yeah.
yeah, all the senses, spiritual and physical. And also you really dive deep in the tarot numerology.
Mm.
And that's such a nice step, especially if people feel maybe overwhelmed, or they're just like, I don't even know where to begin. And they're like, well, start here. Um, so tell me a little bit about that. I know that you kind of go deep. So you talk about like your soul card, your personality card, and then there's also the teacher card, right?
Yes. There's, yeah. And well, just to state that when I discovered my tarot numerology, I finally understood myself.
What are you? What's
I'm
your
the hermit and the
you're
moon.
you're the
The
hermit and the moon?
Yeah. And, my whole life, I didn't know who I wanted to be. I have brothers and sisters that went through college, and they're like, this is what I'm doing. I went through college and took classes because I didn't know what I was going to do.
Mhm.
I got a degree in music, and I'm like, well, I don't know what I'm going to do with that. But I didn't know who I wanted to be. And when I learned I was the hermit, it was like, oh, well, your path is not lit. Your path is lit by that lantern and the moon. You don't
Mhm.
have the sunshine. You
Yeah.
really have to trust your gut and take the steps forward and just keep moving forward. And I was just like, I took a deep breath. I was like, I don't have to be anything but me.
Mhm.
And it
Mhm.
really helped me. And it honed in on, the energies of the moon, which is that intuition and that psychic ability. And I call it being able to walk through the dark.
Mhm.
I understood myself. And then when I got into what year you're in the tarot,
Mhm.
it blew me away. It just,
Mhm.
I based my whole life off that.
What year are you this year?
I'm in the strength here this year,
Nice.
which is sometimes
Great.
a really hard year. Um,
Mhm.
and yeah, I've been watching my years for about 10 years now, calculating,
Mhm.
watching, and they're right on. And it really helps you. What I do with the tarot numerology, first discovering who you are in the tarot, it tells you your skills and challenges in life.
Mhm.
These are the gifts I have. And if you're, what really helped me was I'm into the mystics, the psychic world, that's where I live. And when I learned out I was the hermit in the moon, I was like, okay, you are supposed to be here.
Mm.
Okay.
Mm.
So learning your skills, your gifts, and learning your challenges in life are key through finding out who you are in the tarot.
Mhm.
Then when you step into what year you are, you're like, okay, just to give an example, let's say that you want to, I'm going to use teach a tarot class, your
Mhm.
first tarot class. You really want to teach a tarot class, um, but you don't feel you're quite ready. There's some things to do. And you look at your year energy, and let's say you are in the hermit year.
Mhm.
Well, the hermit year is really a year to go within, listen to your internal voice, and finish things up. So maybe this year is about getting all that stuff ready for your class.
Mhm.
It's an
Mhm.
internal year. What do you want to say? Well, what
Mhm.
do you want the world to know? What is your intuition telling you? What do you need to
Mm.
finish up to get there? Then the next year you move into the Wheel of Fortune and you're ready to go. Okay, this is the year while I
Uh-huh.
move forward. So it helps you map out your life.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Or you can be like me and ignore it and go, "Why is this so hard?" I'm a hermit as well, and I'm in a
Oh,
hermit
yeah.
year this year. And I'm like, "Great, my book is coming out in a hermit year. Yay." And then also the day that it gets released, for a
Mhm.
sale, I did the numerology and it's a 16 tower year. And I was like,
Ah,
I emailed Llewellyn. I was like, "Could we move this like by like a day?" But then that's why you get to use the aromatherapy and the stones,
right.
that you can use it to bolster up that energy as well,
Right.
right?
Yeah, you can, if
Mhm.
let's say you've got a tower day. You did the numerology for the day and it's a tower day.
Mm.
Then, really ground. Get grounded, get centered, and let whatever needs to fall away without fighting it.
Mhm.
Or if you're in a tower energy and you really want to get rid of stuff, it's like, yeah, I see that this stuff is got to go. Then
Mhm.
I always say, just get in there, add more fire, and burn that crap up.
Mm. Mhm.
How do
Mhm.
you want to work with that energy? And
Yeah, in the book you briefly talk about like the Chinese elements, and I've studied like Chinese like feng shui and stuff, and you're using it a lot in the way they do, which is like you're using the oils to also augment or to like tamper down what's not useful for you at that time, right? So I love that. Like, and I love that you use the queens in such a spiritual approach, which I don't think I see anyone just really doing that like as transparently as I see you're doing that. And I know you've done that for a while.
yeah, the queens have been my girls for quite a while. Um, well, I feel like they embody the element that you are a part of, that they are a part of. So if you really want to, um, let's see, I'm using teach a class, you're actually teaching the class, and you really want to be able to speak your truth and be clear, then call in that Queen of Swords to help you really be clear with your message and communicate well. Speak
Mm.
truth. Or if you're like me and you want a little courage and
Mhm.
charisma, call in that Queen of Wands and
Mhm.
wear your reds. Um, put on some fiery oils, or have a chai tea before you teach. And really don't just drink the tea. The tea, remember why you're drinking that tea.
Infusing in the energy of it. Yeah.
Influence.
Yeah, just like Chinese medicine, very similar in many
Yeah.
ways. Yeah. I know Jonathan, who's in the chat, has a degree in acupuncture and Chinese medicine, so I'm sure he probably will have something to say about that. Um, so I had some questions about the numerology piece because I was personally confused, but I'm not any good at math, so this is all on me. So I did my numerology and it got me to the Hermit, but then the 2 digits before the 9 are just 2 plus 7. So I was like, do I not have like a is the 7 the personality and the 2 the teacher? Like I was told like that, but that's all my dyslexia going, wait, what?
You are a straight hermit.
Just straight, no
Straight hermit.
chaser.
A hermit is your personality. The hermit is your soul card. But you still, since we base the numerology off the 22 major arcana cards in the tarot. So anything 22 or below would add up to the number 9. They're still part of your energy. So the moon is part of your energy. It's actually your hidden factor.
Okay.
Because it's not showing up in your numerology, but it's still there. So it's kind of hidden, hiding. So it's still part of your energy. So it's something you should study. Your intuition is very important for what you do. And yeah. So yeah. So it is still there, but it's kind of hiding in the distance. Whereas I am a 18-9. Mine adds up to 18 and reduces down to 9. So the moon is my personality. Yeah. And the hermit is my soul card, number 9.
I see. That's the difference. Okay, I get it now. Because I was like, wait, what is which one? Maybe I'm not understanding. Or I'm switching my numbers all around. That's really fascinating. So as a hermit person, what kind of essential oils, just off the cuff, would work for us?
So if you're wanting to call in more hermithood or more hermit energy, you would work with earth element oils because the hermit is the earth element. So cedarwood, patchouli, vetiver, any of the woods would be.
I love vetiver. Oof.
Yeah, vetiver is so good. Hoe wood, anything with that earthy feel, even things like frankincense that are rich, actually, they're, what's the word I want? They come from a tree. They're like resin's what I want.
The resin. Oh, yeah.
They're resin, but they're still very earthy. So to call in more hermit energy, you would want that earthy grounding going within. But if you want to call in that moon energy, you would want water element, which are the sweeter oils like rose geranium, jasmine, different sweeter oils relate to the water element. So you would work with those. And if you wanted to combine the two, just blend earth and water oils and create your own blend. And in the book, I do teach blending. So
yeah, I saw that. It's really comprehensive. I was like, I've learned more than I have ever about aromatherapy. It's like, oh, great. Another hobby, Jenna.
I know.
I need another shelf to clear of fun goodies to have.
Yeah.
So, I know that your website is by, Ailynn, but it's AILYNN.com, right?
Yes.
And people can order oils from you or teas from you?
Yes, definitely. I have the oils. I just actually took my sprays off because I'm messing with them. I'm adding alcohol to the blend to keep them safer. And they're harder to ship. So I just kind of pulled them out, and I still have the roll-ons, which don't have any alcohol on there, and teas. So yeah.
So, wow, this just is so much fun. In your as you were pulling this book together, was there anything that was surprising to you that you learned, or something that you thought was one way, and then but as you started getting into the thick of it, you were like, actually, I think I'm going to shift how this is going to go. Anything like that in your process?
I think the only thing I did was I had 4 different queen stories
Mm.
that I was going to use. And when I got to the editing with my editor, and she said, if there's anything you want to change now, change, now's your time. Those queen stories had been bugging me. And I thought it was too late to change them. I was kind of like, oh, I've already sent everything in, I can't change it. And at the last minute, I rewrote all 4 queens
Oh,
stories.
wow.
And what I do is I sit with my spray, I spray it, and I call in the queen and I say, talk to me. And I just have a full conversation and I write it out. And that's kind of, those stories come to me in like an hour. So I rewrote all those because the other ones were written like 4 or 5 years ago. And I just felt like, no, everything's shifted since then. I need to rewrite these. So I rewrote the 4 queens last minute, and they all have different stories now and different.
I'll have to go back through and reread them. So Jonathan says he uses a vaporizer to aerate his essential oils, but he has to be careful because of the animals.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh,
yeah, I have the same issue. Yeah.
Oh, which ones? I've been aerating eucalyptus. Is that bad? I'm like, my kitty. Oh, I'm sorry.
I try not to aerate them when the animals are at home. Like if my husband's taking them out for a walk, I might use it for a few minutes and then turn it off. Or I use it in a room that they don't go into. But yeah, I don't like to use it around the animals because little droplets can drop on them. And essential oils really aren't that great for animals. There's certain ones, but I'm not an animal essential oil person. So I'm kind of like, I just keep them all away from my dogs. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that. Wow. So Jonathan also says using herbal medicine to help with more than just physical health. Great idea to use it for energy work. Oh yeah, absolutely great idea for energy work. So are you going to be teaching any classes or like doing any trainings in this based off of your book?
Eventually, I think I will. Right now, it's just been really crazy. I'm getting ready for the Northwest Tarot Symposium here in Portland, which I can't wait for. It's so much fun. So I'm teaching there and also be vending. I'll have my booth and teas and everything ready to go there. And I've been so busy writing articles. It seems like I'm getting all these people to ask me to write articles.
Yes.
That I'm just writing articles.
I know.
It's like, so, which is really fun. I just love it. So I'm trying to find a space to get a chance to write out a class. And hopefully I will, teach a class on it. Yeah.
That'd be really cool. So I wanted to briefly talk a little bit about the queens again, because that's also an area that I'm super interested in. And I'm just thinking about one of the ways I could use this book with my clients. Are you seeing clients like as a reader? Are you at this point?
I am. I actually was reading at a local shop here. I read there for about 12 years, but they're closing.
Oh, what? Which one?
Renaissance Bookshop.
Really? They're closing?
They're closing after 30 years.
Oh, God.
I know. And yeah, that was my spot to read. I do readings online, but I don't do as many. And I am opening up a few afternoons so I can start picking up some readings because I'm used to going there for my readings. And
yeah. Oh.
Yeah. It's my home. I miss that place. So yeah, I am going to be doing some more readings. And yeah, I use this with clients. And even in the back of the book, I explained how to work with clients with it. If you're a reader.
Yeah. It was like you left no stone unturned.
How do you do this? And and you can, the really cool thing about this approach is that you can use it for anything. You can use it for 1 hour if you have a job interview and you really want to show that confidence and leadership energy. You'd work with the Queen of Wands, and I always wear red to an interview. That's my thing. And so it's kind of embracing it for a short period of time, or you can use it for a full year, working, if you have a big goal you're trying to accomplish. which one of the queens can help you, or which one of the major arcana cards can help you. Call them in, work with them, study them. And then in the book, I have stones, essential oils, tea blends, different things you can do to really call them in. And I call it simple everyday ritual because I want to make it simple.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be something big that you have to do everything. I mean, you can make a ritual out of drinking your a glass of water in the morning.
Yeah.
So something you do every day, or something you can do that's simple. And that just reminds you of it creates that memory of, this is what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I'm going for. And it doesn't let you step out of that energy for very long.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then the scent, you work with an oil. Every time you smell that, you're like, oh, I have confidence.
Yeah. Yeah. I was even thinking like so much like, I do a lot of love readings, of course, as a reader. And one of the combinations that I see, oh, I'm single and I want to meet somebody, and we do a reading and the Queen of Swords is front and center. And it's like, oh girl, you're Fort Knox. Like there's no flirting going on. Like even if I'm doing, yes, I was like, we need either a little Queen of Wands or Queen of Cups, kind of showing up with that little bit of vulnerability and openness to heal. Often the Queen of Swords is a response to trauma or like some dude in the past,
Right.
but it's like, how do we bring forward the other queen that's also there? So, when you're out and about, Mr. or Ms. Right is like, oh, what's going on over here? So I could totally see like a reading where it's like, ooh, Queen of Swords. All right. Like we need to like pump up your Queen of Cups energy.
Right.
Here's some teas. Here's some little oils to wear when you go to that speed dating event.
Yes, exactly.
Perfect.
Yeah. And that's really how it works, or, get a jug of water, put a piece of masking tape across it, and drink in what you want to call into your life. Every time you look at that, you're remembering, I'm drinking in internal beauty. I'm drinking in joy. I'm drinking in, love, whatever. So it's that constant reminder of what you're creating and what you're calling in that keeps you on track.
You are just like the quintessential herbal woman at the edge of the village with your
I'd love
tinctures.
to be that woman.
You are. So, do you have time to hop over to Instagram and we can kind of continue the conversation that platform? What else is on deck for you? Do you have like a book that you're thinking about or working on?
I do have an idea for a book that I've actually had for about 4 or 5 months now.
Ooh,
I haven't had,
hurry, girl, hurry.
I just haven't had time to get to it. It's been a bit overwhelming, but I'm moving into my hermit year next year. And so I hope that opens up some space for me and I can write it then. That's kind of my goal.
Oh, well, I look forward to what is created, and have fun at Newt's. I feel like I'm the only person on the planet not going. But I was just like with the book and like coming, and then like, for me, that's a haul. Like that's a cross country. I was like, I'm going to chill for a bit because I was all over the place earlier this year.
Yeah,
do you have, yeah, I was like, I was like, and so I was like, for fall. So are you going to be anywhere else next year? Are you planning on doing any other conferences or anything?
I'm looking into it. Trying to figure out which ones would fit. And yeah, I'm hoping to be at some other conferences. I don't have anything lined up right now. I am hoping to do some book signings at bookshops and getting those set up now. And looking forward to that. So yeah, I'm hoping to hop over to 1 or 2 conferences, and yeah.
Awesome. So everybody who's tuning in live, thank you for coming and hanging out with our chat. And those of you that will be watching later, again, it's Tarot Apothecary. It is out in a few short weeks, but you can pre-order it on Amazon, right?
Yep.
And where can everyone find you? Best place to find you?
Best place to find me is I'm on Facebook, and I have a new authors page I just created.
Ooh.
So it's Ailynn Halvorson, author. I also have Potions by Ailynn page on Facebook. And on Instagram, I am by_Ailynn, Ailynn, and Instagram. And my website is www.byailynn.com.
I'll put that in real fast. I know, and it's a family business. I know your daughter is just a really amazing Lenormand reader. You guys
Yes.
all have the gift and the talent.
Yeah, it came down from my sister too. So it's
Oh,
like,
really?
yeah. And my grandmother, who I never knew, I believe, stories are that she was an herbalist and quite a ornery woman that would put you in your place, but sweet as can be too. And she's always with me. My grandmother's with me. And so she had that herbalism going. So, yeah.
That's so cool. You're definitely leaning into the intergenerational karmic work, it sounds like, which is amazing. I love it.
Yeah, it's really fun.
All right, so we are going to continue this conversation over at Instagram. And for those of you that go, thank you for showing up. Next week, I will be doing tarot and charm casting readings to celebrate Mebon. I live in Mebon, but Mabon, it's very similar. But for the autumnal equinox, be here and I will give you a reading and we will play with some charms and have a good time. So thank you so much for hanging out with me here. And let's scooch on over to Instagram.
Sounds good.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.